know if I don't hear it.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Board and Browsing Podcast. I'm your host, Danny, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Samson and Sean.
And I'm George Michael Sarah.
Howdy.
George Michael Sarah, what brought on this name today?
I don't know. It's just how I'm feeling.
Just how you're feeling? Understandable.
Yep. A little bit timid, a little meek, but also very confident and sexy.
Yeah. So here's what we're doing today. We are going to be talking about another full review, kind of like what we did with the Snyder Cut, but this time we're doing Godzilla vs. Kong, which dropped this week. So technically the weekend after. This will be up on like Monday or something. But yeah, we're going to be doing another full review. So if you don't know how this works, what we do is we talk about the pros, we talk about the cons, and then we give our final verdict as to whether or not you should check out this movie. So, I mean, guys, just right off the bat, how are you feeling coming into Godzilla vs. Kong? And also, I just want to give, like, fair warning, we will talk about spoilers. We are not going to shy away from spoilers. If you do not want to be spoiled for Godzilla vs. Kong, do not listen or watch this right now, because we will be talking about spoilers.
But if you want to be spoiled, then trust me, I will spoil you.
We're going to be, so coming into this movie, what were your initial thoughts? Because I know Sean especially was very hyped. I was starting to ride that hype train. Samson, what were your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I'd never seen a Godzilla movie all the way through. So if I'm being honest, I've never seen a Godzilla movie.
I can't believe we're friends.
I watched the first 30 minutes of
friends.
Godzilla vs. Mothra, and I got bored because there was no Godzilla in the first 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I had I didn't know what to expect.
No, that's understandable.
And you didn't watch King Kong either?
Yeah, like so this is a question that I had as I was watching the movie. The prequel for this Godzilla specific character, this specific one, is based off of Godzilla King of Monsters. Is there a movie I was supposed to watch as a prequel for Kong?
Yes, there are three movies before this.
Okay.
So there's the first one, Godzilla. I don't remember if it had another subtitle there, but that was just Godzilla showing up. He destroys two monsters. He's in like 3% of the movie.
Okay.
It was bad. And then King Kong Skull Island comes out, which is a triumph. There's some actors in it. The funny one with the funny guy with the curly hairs in it.
Tom Hiddleston.
It's in this maybe.
I know. I
don't know.
That is
actors.
the worst description.
I was looking up the explanation as to like what the movies were, because I was like, okay, this feels like there's a lot of information about Kong that I just don't understand.
Yeah, no, you actually you did. There is a Kong backstory movie that is it's not good. Let me get that out of the way. It's not a good movie, but it is a fun movie. Lots of kind of Skull Island crazy monsters. Like there's this bamboo spider thing, and it like stabs a guy through the mouth, and you're like, oh man, he got stabbed through the mouth.
Oh, John C. Reilly is who you were talking about.
John C. Reilly, yeah, funny guy with the curly hair. Yeah, you got it. There it is. And that pretty much reveals to you that it like hints at the fact that there's all these underground caves where the monsters come from. And then finally there's Godzilla King of the Monsters, or whatever it was called exactly, the subtitle. Yeah, and that's the one that really sets up this right here, because Godzilla fights King Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra shows up to help out, and also Eleven from Stranger Things is there.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed that movie, especially for like what it was. It was like this cheesy action film. I think the best part personally of that was when like Godzilla was actually fighting Ghidorah. Like the story itself was pretty mediocre, but when the monsters were fighting, that was when I was like, oh yeah, let's go. All right, like just beat the shit out of each other. And I was hoping that would carry over a little better into this movie.
See, that's an interesting point, because I thought this one was really well paced in terms of action. And yes, sorry, I just saw in chat, is this Board and Browsing? Yes, this is Board and Browsing. Hello, everyone.
Follow us on all socials.
Pretty stunningly beautiful. I know it's a bit intimidating, but I personally thought an upside of this was that the action was pretty tight, and we didn't have long lingering. I honestly thought King of Monsters had longer portions of not caring about dumb human stuff.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
so.
what I do want to give this credit for, and like what has kind of turned me off to like watching the other Godzilla movies, was this was under 2 hours.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that was sick, especially after having to sit through the 4 hour Snyder cut for the last Twitch stream he did. Like this felt like a breeze. And like I also just want to say, I also felt like there was a lack of like stupid human shit. Like I didn't care about most of the characters, and that was okay.
Yeah.
Like that was totally okay. You know, they didn't develop what's that movie, Hunt for the Wilder People? Is that what the Taika
that's the
Waititi movie is?
in.
The kid, yeah, and he's also in Deadpool 2. But,
Oh,
like,
that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kid is like, I like him, but like I don't know what his character is. Is he good at computer science? Why was he there? Because he has a van? I have no goddamn idea. But like
because
it didn't
his
matter.
brother has a van.
Yeah, his brother.
Yeah.
His brother.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. But like he showed up, and you know, Paperboy from Atlanta showed up and was a conspiracy theorist. And like I don't understand these characters at all. And again, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't matter. They're
guess
there
for
to
me-
spill water alcohol all over the board
I guess
when
for
it matters
me-
most.
For me, I was just expecting like maybe a little bit more story explanation to stuff, because it, realistically speaking, if you take out Millie Bobby Brown and co, there's no difference in the movie.
Yeah.
Like you don't learn anything new. The plot still progresses the same way because it's still escalating due to Kong and Skull fighting, and them discovering the mecha Godzilla doesn't really add anything new to it. It just kind of more like, you know, it like the entire time they were there, and I especially hated Millie Bobby Brown's character in this movie. I thought she was just kind of uncomfortable and weird and didn't really serve much of a purpose other than just like existing.
Okay, this is a rough take,
Yeah.
but I really like Millie Bobby Brown. I think
do
she's a
too.
cool person. I don't think she's a great actress. I also don't think that the script and the dialogue was very good.
No, but that's,
So, like,
that's the point I'm trying to bring.
The
is, like,
script was
there was a lot
terrible.
of fluff in this movie that just was there for the sake of stardom and connecting worlds. Like, and I think we'll dive more into this as we're talking about the cons. There's no reason to care for Godzilla. It's all about the monk.
Yeah, yeah. And that all to lead into a pro. I think that Godzilla is not Godzilla. I think that King Kong is actually like a character enough in this.
Yeah.
And I think that was pretty. I think they did a really good job of that. Like
He
I
can talk.
kind of cared. Well, he could use sign language, Daniel. It's not exactly the same thing. Home. Signing home right now for those who can't tell because you're listening to this days in the future.
But yeah, no.
But
I
yeah,
totally
so
agree.
yeah,
It's
it's. I think they did a really good job with that.
Yeah. I think Godzilla is a side character at best. If anything, just like a side antagonist. But King Kong is the star of this movie. They should have named it King Kong vs. the World, because that's pretty much what it was.
There was a moment, like, I'm going to say like a little before 2/3 of the way through where I was like, they've only fought once.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like where this movie is going is they are going to team up against one big other thing. And I don't think they're going to have the runtime to have another fight. So why is this Kong versus Godzilla? But you know what?
But they did.
Then they had like 30 to 40 minutes straight of just monsters just beating the shit out of each
they
other.
did.
And
Which
they
is
proved
funny
me
to me,
wrong. Yeah.
because you must have been thinking that like 10 minutes before it started.
Yeah,
But I
you
will
know.
admit, I also had that point, and I think so. The reason is because at some point, this is the big spoiler time. The Earth is hollow, idiots, obviously, and in the center of the hollow Earth, there is another world where the Titans were born, and that's where some of them still live, I guess, because there were those big flying snake things. Whatever. And King Kong is down there with a couple of the humans in these fucking absurd anti-gravity cars.
Oh, yeah.
Which, whatever, who cares? They have anti-gravity cars. Why not? They did a little bit of not Inception, interstellar, like wormhole warping to get there. Again, whatever. But then you're like, how is this going to be a fight? They're miles away from each other underground, like hundreds of miles, probably thousands of miles. So Godzilla shoots a laser straight through the earth.
Mm-hmm.
He shoots a laser. He just looks down. He roars, looks at the ground, and shoots a laser through the crust of the earth. And I was like, so that's how it's going to happen. Obviously. Oh,
Yeah.
what an idiot I was, not realizing that's how they were going to end up fighting.
Yeah, and like, did you know that the Earth's crust isn't even a mile thick? It's enough where they can see each other through it and crawl through in about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, it took them a while to get down there on the way down, but then the way up, they were like, all right, well, King Kong has an axe now, which, yeah, he learned to use tools, which means he's essentially entered the Stone Age,
Yeah.
marking him as perhaps not an ape, but an early hominid, regardless. Anyway, an early hominid. Someone said, yeah, the planet
Sorry.
was more hollow than the character of King Kong, who was not hollow. That was well
Sorry,
fleshed out.
I just got a text from my friend who's actively watching it right now. And he just texted me, whole movie looks like a God of War cutscene.
So that's
that was
something
another.
I wanted to praise was the fact that, first off, they wasted no time getting to the CGI beast. I was really worried it was going
Yeah.
to be a thing where it's like they're just building up the human story for 20, 30, 40 minutes before we actually get to see a character. But you legit see Kong in the very like first scene of the movie, and it goes
Yeah.
from there. It just kind of escalates like how often you're seeing him, which
Which,
I think just gives
by the
props to
way-
CGI. Like the CGI was great
Yeah.
for Kong.
Tons of special effects, and I I was really worried when it opened with King Kong being in like a hollow dome.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this movie about to be? And admittedly, like, that was arguably one of the stupidest parts, and it got a little bit better from there. I don't know. That was something they didn't really explain. Like, for whatever reason, Skull Island was covered in storms, which is King Kong's home.
Yeah.
So they made him a digi home.
I
Like,
think the explanation was that by them being there and interacting with him, it was causing like some shift in the environment because I guess like these things aren't meant to be interacted with, and they're like poking and prodding and studying him.
I got it. So God knew,
Yeah.
and God decided to punish people.
Well,
But
yeah,
I'll save that take for when we all share our versus movies later.
it's Kong versus God versus Zilla.
Oh my God, that really puts the God and Godzilla right there. Tell you what, King King Kong gets an axe, Godzilla gets a Bible. Just
Yeah.
bop.
So continuing on with just like we start off the movie, we're seeing him in this cave, and you meet this little girl, and the little girl, despite having like no real speaking lines outside of sign language,
Best actor,
yeah, she was fantastic.
Yeah.
The entire time
best
I was
actor
like,
in the whole movie.
I feel for her. I feel for her character, and I also thought she was just like she was the best actor by far.
Yeah,
Well, again, I think this is not a joke. It's going to sound like a joke, but it's not. I think she came across as the best actor because the script sucks and she literally doesn't have to talk.
I said that exact same thing actually while watching it to my to Sam. I don't know. I was about to say my roommate Sam. Well, I guess for the listeners who don't know Sam, my roommate Sam. I was like, it's because she doesn't have to say any of these terrible lines.
Yeah.
Like, there were so many. I can't even remember the specific ones, but it would be like they look out at the monkey. It's like someone's upset. Kong bows to no one. Like, when the Titans fight, only one can come out. And, it's
And
like,
you don't think he will
whoa.
win? Just find a way to
God.
get him there.
Dude, I'm telling you though. And I'm also telling you, like, watch Atlanta, because the dude who plays the conspiracy theorist is like
Brian David
one of the
Tyree.
main. Yeah, and watch one episode of that show with him in it, and you'll be like, this guy's a superb actor.
Yeah.
And like, it's just crazy how good some of the actors in this movie actually are, and how like impossible it is for them to even do anything with what they're given.
Yeah, he's slowly becoming one of my favorite actors. I was really disappointed in his character as a whole. I thought it was starting off strong. Like, he's this whistleblower who runs this like conspiracy podcast. He's starting to get all the information, and then legit out of nowhere, Godzilla shows up and blows up every chance he had of being like this cool undercover guy. But like, Brian David Tyree is really making a surge in popularity since Atlanta. He's actually going to be in the new Eternals movie, the Marvel one. I forget what else he was gonna be in, but it's gonna be really good. I'm very excited for him. And I thought like of the B plot, and yes, I'm calling Godzilla's story cast a B plot because that's the best
was.
explanation for it. They were literally so not important that you could get rid of them and it wouldn't matter too much. And I was like, what? Like, why do we need all this? It was just.
I do think the reason was I'm not saying it was a good reason. The only real excuse I can find for them is to have people in like
both stories.
The Godzilla camp.
Yes,
you know,
I was
like
thinking that. But I was also thinking there's a better way to do a crossover than them just casually walking to the front of the danger zone at the end of the movie and somehow being next to each other.
Yeah. No, I mean you're right.
Yeah.
I mean it's poorly written.
Yeah.
I think the goal was to make us know that Godzilla wasn't being evil, because like the kind of idea from the other two is that it seems like Godzilla, which is why you think they wouldn't have to explain it to us again. But the other two movies, the whole arc is, oh no, why is Godzilla like destroying these things? Why is he coming up and awakening? Oh, it's to kill these other monsters. So you think they'd give the audience a little bit of credit and be like, maybe they won't just assume Godzilla had a heel turn like in 90s wrestling and is now the bad guy. But no, I think they wanted it to be like very crystal clear, because for what it's worth, I guess people haven't seen the other movies looking at someone named Samson for that.
I haven't seen most of the Kong movies. I didn't realize that was a prerequisite for watching a monkey fight a Godzilla. But my bad. They need to explain these things. Lay it out like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let me know I gotta watch A to Z before I'm coming into this one, because the whole time I was just like, I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I don't understand who these characters are and what's going on and why this relationship exists.
Well, I Googled 5 minutes in because I had the same feeling. I Googled, should I have watched the rest of the movies before I watched Godzilla vs. Kong? And everyone was
no.
like, nope. There are two characters, and there's a reference to this bioterrorist or some shit, like, sometimes in the movie. But, like, you know what? You need to know virtually nothing.
So
because they put everything in very slyly. I would not agree necessarily with that, but...
Having watched everything before, the things that matter are Millie Bobby Brown as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was in the last movie.
Her dad.
Does it matter more? Yeah, her dad was also in the last movie.
Her
Again,
mom
no
died.
real. The mom did die. That happened in the last.
did
no.
There is King Kong is
Also,
around.
wait, I realized I forgot to
Godzilla's
post on
around.
Instagram that we were live, guys. Oh no.
Danny, how could you?
Oh no.
All right, we got to take a break so Danny can do that real quick.
Oh no. Oh god. Yeah, so much hate.
Yeah, and someone.
Oh
in
yeah,
chat
wait. What do you
saying,
guys
"I
think
recommend-"
SMH stands for?
What do you mean? There's a specific
Yeah.
thing it does stand for.
Yeah.
Does it though?
Yeah. Danny, what do you think it stands for? Before either of us say anything.
It stands for so much hate.
No. No. No.
No, it's shaking my head.
Yeah. I thought it was shake my head.
Oh, Nightbot, however, disagrees with us apparently in chat. But
it's
someone
so
also
much
pointed
hate.
out that Kong Skull Island and King of the Monsters do make you care a little bit more about the monsters. I think that's fair. I think that it's almost kind of like the superhero setup movies in Marvel, in that you get to know like, oh, okay, so this is a powerful character. Like, here's what Godzilla can do. He breathes the big fire, and King Kong can look real nice in a tight pair of jeans. That's what you learn from Kong Skull Island.
Wait, he wears
Okay.
jeans?
Whoa.
Did you not watch
Oh.
Kong Skull? I can't tell you. I don't want to spoil
I
Kong
didn't.
Skull
We
Island.
just established that I didn't.
And that's why you don't know about King Kong and skinny jeans. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
SMH stands for shaking. I always thought it was shake. Shake my head.
No, it's shaking,
shaking my
because
head.
it's an action that you're taking.
yeah.
Yeah, the last movie establishes that King Kong has a grasp of the social zeitgeist, using some SAT words there, and has the drip, as the kids say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as do I. But that's
Anyways,
neither here
I'm
nor
back.
there. So anyway, I thought in terms of another pro, I thought the final fight was really fun. And I thought that, like, for whatever reason, fluorescent Hong Kong was a really cool place to have it.
Yeah, the scenery for that fight was gorgeous. I found myself just like getting caught looking at the buildings rather than the actual fight.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
want
a
to say
little bit.
I liked the aesthetic, but it also looked like somebody who's posting their first picture on like a photography subreddit and being like, "Is this good?" And it's completely over edited. It's like boost all these teals, boost all these pinks and reds. I mean, it looked cool though. I liked it. It just it looked so neon, and you know what? I was here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we continue with the story, right? They've seen Kong on the island. We've seen a little bit of hints of Godzilla like rising up and like going against these factories and stuff. And then there's this transportation scene where they put King Kong onto a raft, pretty much like a jumbo aircraft thing, and they're trying to bring him all the way up to Antarctica so he can become a Yeti and find the hollow Earth. And as I'm saying this, I'm just like, okay. But did you guys also feel the entire time that they need to just give Kong like an industrial sized umbrella? Because he was just getting pelted with rain in nearly every single scene he was in. And I felt
he
so
was
bad.
fine,
He's
though.
going like,
Yeah, I said that when they're on the boat. I was like, they have the time and money to engineer a monkey craft carrier,
Yeah.
which is an aircraft carrier, but for one specifically large monkey. But they don't even think of having like an awning in case it rains. Like, the
Yeah.
dude was clearly a little upset that he was getting rained on.
Yeah.
And someone did point out that Pacific Rim, it was very similar in terms of like flashy fights in a vibrant city. I do
Yes.
think that the last fight there took maybe a little bit of inspiration from Pacific Rim, just in terms of like not cutting away from the action every 2 seconds to show you like that was what the first Godzilla movie did really poorly in terms of just like, here's a shaky camera from the basement of a building, you know, while a guy is doing his makeup in the mirror and just happens to every now and then poke out of the window, like worse than Cloverfield half the time, honestly.
So
Sorry, I just want to say before we move on,
Yeah.
because really you think like I don't know, you said you thought they could have given Kong an umbrella, but like
very strongly.
the first time, but like the first time he emerged from beyond the trees and they're doing this like just like giant cut of like King Kong, I felt like he ended too early, and I felt there should have been much more pelvis and or big swinging ape nuts. Like I am calling for the Kong dong cut.
The Kong dong.
Yeah.
Where is the Kong dong?
That's the face of someone with a massive cock.
The
Dude,
king
like
thing,
I mean,
if you know what I
because
mean.
it does look weird in the sense that it is just like, it's not even like kind of cut around or like given a dip. It just like flat angle, like nothing. Like it's such a hard cut and it's so far up his body. At least just bring it down a tiny bit.
Yeah.
I also didn't like how he stood like a person. I didn't like it. It made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's a hot
Give
take,
him a
King.
penis and make him walk like a person. I don't give a shit. Or make him walk like a fucking gorilla and don't give him a dong. One or the other. I need one or the other. Both are too uncanny.
Sure.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you watched Kong Skull Island as well as Godzilla King of Monsters, you would have learned that Titans reproduce asexually because actually I'm making that up. Sorry,
All right,
chat.
so
I'm lying.
in chat,
Sorry, all
somebody
of our
is saying
listeners.
Cow's Cavern is saying gorillas have proportionally tiny genitals, so maybe it's even worse for Kongs. That is a great point. Can you tell us, on average, how large is a gorilla's genitals? I'm just saying, you seem to know a lot.
Then the issue is that even if it's very small, when you scale it up to a Kong size level, even if
pretty big.
proportionally it is quite small, we're still talking like city bust here, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
Sorry. I had to take one part of my headphones off because I feel like my girlfriend is going to come in and yell at me at any moment for yelling about ape genitals. Because I can't hear myself.
So I want to
Meanwhile,
continue
Marie
on
doesn't
with,
care at all.
with another pro that I found, which was that first and
Guys,
only.
wait, nope, Danny, we got the answer. I'm sorry to cut you off, but average length is 1.25 inches.
Damn. So
So at 50
how
feet
wait, so
tall,
how tall
it would
is
be
how
just
tall
under
is
1.5 feet.
Godzilla? Or how tall is King Kong? How tall is
Oh yeah.
Wait.
King Kong?
But Godzilla was taller than King Kong was taller than 50 feet, surely.
So
Guys, I'm
Kong
not good
is
enough at math.
148 feet tall compared to the 25 feet tall in
Oh wait.
in Peter Jackson's version of the movie.
Oh, Candyman boy got an answer from Reddit.
No, but that doesn't make
At
sense
50
because he's
feet tall,
taller
his
than
penis
50
would be
feet.
under 1.5 feet long.
But he's big. He's got to be bigger than 50. That's 5 stories. He's not
Yeah.
5 stories tall.
A 5
So
foot
100
story
foot would
penis?
be 3 feet. So probably 4.5 feet, I think is what I'm getting from this.
Wow.
I'm gonna be disappointed if King Kong's penis is smaller than me. I want to be taller than his penis.
So that you can go kind of like snuggle up in there, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, the thing that like makes the spectacle, especially, is seeing these giant monsters next to people, and it's like, wow, that is a huge monster.
Yeah.
But like, if you see a person and his dong's like smaller than a person, you know, to scale, that's kind of pathetic, and it makes the monster maybe a little less daunting.
Sure.
Could be. Dan, you were saying that you had another positive.
Yeah.
I know. I just because Samson, we should save this more for the negatives, you know? Like,
Oh,
that's-
sorry, my
Yeah,
bad.
Yeah, that's
this
the
is a
cons,
major
not the
con
pros.
that we had. In fact, it might be our biggest issue with the movie in general is that we didn't see enough
Mhm.
kaiju Kong.
Yeah.
So continuing on with the movie, we are then like introduced to a few more characters. You're slowly building up the story, and then we get to the scene where they're transporting King Kong on a boat. And I think this might be the strongest scene in the movie, but maybe that's a hot take. I
That is a
thought
hot
it had
take.
the perfect blend of characters actually interacting with each other, pushing the story forward, as well as really cool visuals in the fight scene.
Oh, so you mean like the whole thing, not
Yeah.
just when they were moving? I thought you meant like just the part where they
No,
were
no, no,
moving
no, no.
him
I-
on the boat.
Just like if you were to splice together all the parts where they're on the boat up to the end of that, I think that's the strongest part of the movie.
I disagree. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that
definitely
was one of my least favorite parts.
I don't know if it was one of my least favorite parts, but it was definitely. I think I enjoyed like the end way more. I'm pretty like personally.
Yeah. Oh, and by like
Because-
least favorite part, I mean like I more meant like relative to like the actiony parts. That was definitely my least favorite.
Mm.
I just
It just
saw,
felt limited. Sorry.
I just saw a hashtag in the chat, free Kong Dong.
Yeah, let's get it trending.
Yeah, let's get it trending, guys. This is
Hey,
where
if
you come in.
everyone-
Get it trending.
We'll have dozens of people doing it by the end of the week.
Yeah. So maybe that's a hot take. For me personally, I didn't love the end fight because it was just like I don't know, there was something about it that really threw me off in terms of just building up to it with story. I think if the story was better, I would have enjoyed it more. But you know me, like I am a story-driven person. I like these relationships, and I just felt that like this was the build up to it, and then it just kind of like plateaued and went downhill in terms of like how I enjoyed the movie from there. I also want to give like major credits to whoever was putting together the trailers because they took like minimal scenes from anything outside of that river part. Like I feel like we didn't see many scenes at the end. There was no indication Mechagodzilla was showing up. There was like minimal indication they're going to this hollow world. Like I think there's a lot of trailers these days that spoil things more than they need to be, and they just take clips from all over. And I was assuming that river fight, like the ocean fight, was going to be the end, like the big like climactic ending, and it wound up just being like the midway point.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe that's maybe where like we have a very like a slightly different opinion is like I was disappointed because I thought it was going to come earlier, and it got to a certain point where I was like, Jesus Christ, when are they going to meet each other? And like then like I saw that and I was like, okay, now we get the part they showed in the trailer,
Yeah.
and now I have to wait till like we see shit that's not in the trailer. So like I get now where you're coming from. And that makes it, and it was cool. I just like as like again, I hadn't seen really any Godzilla movies, so like I was a pretty big Kong fan, And if you like King Kong, that was not the fight for you because he's underwater and can't do jack shit for the majority of that fight.
Yo, let's talk for real about who are these? Why were they like, no, we can't release him from the chains? I
Yeah,
know
what was
that
up with that?
Godzilla just destroyed 9 of our battleships, but like the monkey might go silly if we let him go. We better not let the monkey go.
That's
And
fair.
it takes the entire boat getting flipped over and a generic white action star one to swim over there and hit the release all monkey chains button, which works underwater apparently as well. It's touchscreen and works in the water. Hey,
Yeah,
that's
some
the Navy
pretty
for
impressive
you.
swimming.
That's where all the like, what is it, $15 trillion we spend on the military? That's where it all goes. It goes to the monkey containment monkey craft carrier.
Yeah.
Something interesting that they did was just skip over any like setup to anything, which sounds like a con, but in some cases it was a pro too. Like, how the fuck did they get King Kong on that boat? I don't know. He was just there.
He was like
How the
fully
fuck did they
sedated.
get? Yeah, but how do you move King Kong onto a boat and then like get him What is the setup for that? And then also they get him airlifted with all these helicopters. Surely that wasn't just something they had on standby ready to go, right? But no, the movie cuts and immediately they're in the Antarctic and they're lifting him and then they drop him and he's like, "Oh, snow is here for the first time. Cool. I guess I'll go to the crust of the earth."
Also,
It keeps it moving. Honestly, that's the
if
thing.
Godzilla is a creature of the water and lives in the water, and they could have just airdropped Kong up to Antarctica, why didn't they do that from the beginning?
Because they had this monkey ship and they were like, I swear to fucking God, if you don't let us use the monkey ship the one time we have the opportunity.
Guys, we spent
I'm
so
gonna
much money
tell-
on this ship. We
So
need
much
to
money.
get our usage of it, or the government will take away our funding. Also, here's the other
Yeah.
thing. It's been 3 years since Godzilla vs. Kong, where all the kaiju like escaped from the earth and were fighting and shit. How do you not have like better weapons to fight these
Missiles,
things
Danny.
than like missiles?
Fighter jets.
Yeah, but like
I
3
will
years.
never get tired of a fighter jet being like, we gotta get Godzilla. Better go fly within 10 feet of him and shoot him with 3 missiles that look like they were from a slingshot. And then they just get smacked by his tail. And it's like, how am I supposed to feel bad for this guy? He clearly should not have passed pilot school.
Honestly, though,
Answer the
sorry, go ahead.
chat. They had
Shaking my
Mechagodzilla.
head.
That was a hidden like thing that wasn't from the government. They were making that in secret. I'm talking about like the government had 3 years of them understanding the threats they were facing and did nothing to improve their technology.
Yeah, Mechagodzilla was like the one scientist rich
yeah,
guy.
it was like a company.
Which, by the way, they literally stole the Pacific Rim like neural net connecting to a mech thing. They literally just were like, it's different though because it's in the skull
Good point.
of King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Which then I guess the extra. Sorry, Sam, I don't mean to keep interrupting
it's
you,
okay.
but I guess the spirit of King Ghidorah then corrupts the mech or something like that. They kind of gloss over that because they don't really have an explanation for it.
Yeah. Sandy,
And
what were you
Elon
gonna
Musk
say?
definitely would make.
Oh, we are long past the point where my joke would have made sense.
Tell it anyway.
No.
Nope, tell it anyway.
Yeah, I guess you can if you want to.
All right, you know what? We have to address cons because
Yeah, let's start moving into some
we just
cons.
spent like 35 minutes on the positives, I guess. Question mark. We're kind of
The
all over
fun
the place.
stuff.
But let's focus on negatives. Yeah.
For me, this is just a minor nitpick thing. Why was the guy from the Wilder People? Why did he have an Australian accent when they were in Florida? Was it just to have a more diverse cast? Because it just felt kind of out of place that he's just like this schoolboy that she knows, but
I think
also
it's just
has
what
an
So he's a
accent.
New Zealander.
Yeah, I
Fun
was gonna
fact.
say, that's
He's a New Zealander.
My
accent.
bad. My bad. But did you guys also find that was a bit out of place?
No, I just think I just figured that was his accent. You know.
I think I just
I
latch onto weird things then. So
Yeah, because it's just
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
also, this is just a question I have for you guys in chat as well. When a duck is on the water, right? It's
sorry.
like it's very stable and solid, but its legs are like flopping around. It's all kind of crazy, right? Godzilla
Sure.
has a moment where it's kind of like hovering on the surface, looking out at like the government and like Kong and all that stuff. Do you think its legs move like a duck's do, where it's like waddling all around, or it's just kind of like treading water?
Sorry, my lawnmower got started outside. I think he's treading water, personally,
treading
because
water?
because it's not webbed. So if he doesn't have webbed feet, he can't be doing the duck thing. Yeah, Godzilla is not a duck. Someone in chat said Godzilla is not a duck. I stand by that.
But have you
I
ever
would
seen a
say-
duck without feathers?
I don't think I ever have.
It went right in my belly. I tell you what, that was a duck I was eating.
Duck without feathers. Oh, they look weird.
Like in a good way? Like in a kind of hot way?
Weird in
No.
a good way.
In
Oh,
an
so
Because
another.
I mean, like
Uh,
Amy from Sonic looks weird, but in a good way.
No, this is not close to that.
Oh yeah, duck without feathers is pretty ugly.
Yeah.
Another con. This entire all the script, the words that are actually said was written by children.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So
Yeah.
that was kind of a negative.
It was so poorly written. It blew
Yeah.
my mind because even Godzilla or Godzilla King of Monsters didn't have this bad of writing. At least like the plot kind of
No.
made sense.
Yeah, it's the plot was like the thing is that it was paced very quickly. It almost felt like they wanted to make this like a 3-hour movie, but then someone was like, "No. Are you kidding me? You get 30 minutes of human stuff tops." And so they're like, holy shit. Okay. Every scene, like 30 seconds maximum. Oh, we need an evil corporate character. She walks onto the bridge and she says, "That's a big monkey." Yep, it is. We go on. Little deaf girl goes out, signs family to him. Good. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Who's going to win? Kong bows to no one. All right, lady, keep it moving. Keep it moving. That's like the entire thing until they. It's like, oh, 11's here. She's going to say something about not drinking tap water. Keep it moving. Don't drink
Yeah.
the tap water. Something about Nazis was in there, too. I was like, interesting take.
Oh
We're busting out the Nazis.
Oh man.
And then, yeah, but I think, honestly, I ended up appreciating how quickly it moved just because it got us to the action a
Yeah.
little bit faster.
Always remember the 3 H's of the Monsterverse. Every
Hitler?
human has to hype, humanize, or humor. Humor is not a verb, but you need one of those 3. Every single piece of dialogue, either a really shitty joke, humanize one of the big monsters, or hype up how cool the monsters are. They have to. If you don't have one of those 3 things, you ain't shit. You ain't shit, and you're getting cut from the movie.
Is this what a film?
Yeah, that was actually-
From the movie. Just
Yeah.
like, did you hear about how Joe got cut?
Joe Mama.
Ah, Danny, you fucking asshole.
Oh. Wait. Joe who?
No, Danny ruined it. I'm not talking anymore. I'm not talking for the rest.
Was
I'm not
Joe
talking to the
Biden
rest of the
supposed to be in the movie?
Yeah, it was Joe Biden, but Danny had to turn
And
it
he would
into
go,
some
he would
kind
go,
of thing.
he would go, "Hello."
He just takes
And
off the
that would be-
sunglasses. Kong's wearing sunglasses the whole time.
Yeah, Danny ruined Danny. It wasn't even a joke. Joe Biden was cut from this movie, but Danny had to ruin it with infantile humor.
Yeah, he went and he sniffed King Kong.
Anyways,
Oh, wait, that's actually my next question. Sniff, tickle, spank. We have to do this at some point.
You're right.
Godzilla, Kong, and Mechagodzilla.
Well,
Danny, you
I'll-
first.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
Danny first.
Yeah, sorry. Did you want to go first, Sean?
No, Danny first, definitely.
I think I would sniff. So there was a line mentioned in the movie talking about how bad the monkey smelled. So I think I would sniff Mecha Godzilla because I'm kind of curious what that smells like. Does it smell more like kaiju? Does it smell more like robots? Does it smell evil? Because I feel like it smells evil. I would definitely spank, not smank. I would spank Kong because did you see those cheeks? And then I
True.
would tickle Godzilla because I feel like he has a really funny laugh.
So that's an okay take, but if you want a better take, obviously spank Mechagodzilla because he was naughty. And also, by the end of the movie, he doesn't really have a head, arms, or legs anymore. So, you're going to get a good spanking no matter what because he can't squiggle away. Sniff Godzilla. You might be like, what are you talking about? What does a lizard smell like?
Not
You might be
bad.
like, but you can't really picture, you can't mentally accumulate the smell of a lizard. That's because they're too small in traditional life. But a Godzilla creates a lizard musk unlike anything else. So you smell that to download the smell of a lizard. And then you what was the last tickle Godzilla? I mean King Kong.
Yeah.
Go King Kong.
Okay.
Because he's a big monkey. You go, oh, goo, 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 goo. And he goes, "Ugh," and then crushes you to death with one of his hands, and you get to die.
So I agreed with you until I thought it through a little bit more. So I would tickle Kong. I think that would be fun. I think he might enjoy it. I think it would be cute. Now, I was going to spank Mecha Godzilla word for word, just like you, because he was naughty. However, I went all galaxy brain and realized he's not going to feel it.
Yeah, that's
So,
why I didn't want to spank him.
You got to
because it hurt my
sniff
hand.
him. And then, you know what? I got a good reason to spank Godzilla, too. He's like the Timothy Chalamet of the monster universe. He's all pouty and like badass, and he's too good for everybody, but like in a cool way and a likable way, because he's also pretty cool. Like if he worked with Woody Allen, he'd later revoke Woody Allen and give all his money to charity. But he's also too cool. So you got to take him down like just a peg. And you just got to go, Godzilla, stop being so cool. Stop being so cool. You're not better than me, Godzilla. Smile for once, Godzilla. Just fucking smile, Godzilla. And not in like a way where like you'd look better if you smile. Like not like a weird, creepy, like, chauvinistic way. Like more of just like a, dude, just like you don't got to look like an asshole all the time. You're probably pretty cool. Just show us.
Yeah.
Damn.
Can I
That's
talk
like
about
a
another con I
nine
had?
head take. Yeah, sure.
So the CGI was great. Like the visuals were great. Sometimes they just like showed us things that were kind of gross and we didn't need to. Like Kong throwing up water or him drinking the head of that snake creature. It just I don't know. I didn't need to see that. It was a little gross at times, and I was hoping they wouldn't do that. I literally wrote down in my notes, Kong is very gross. Why'd he need to shoot out water like that?
I understand that take, but at the same time, I love that shit. Like I'm so here for the weird, nasty giant monster stuff. And interesting, this kind of made me think about it. So this movie was PG-13, which I looked at and I raised an eyebrow.
Really?
And if we remember at the beginning, when Godzilla attacks the facility,
Apex.
construction apex, yeah. Later on, they run the newsreel 8 dead in Godzilla attack. And I thought to myself, he only killed 8 people
Yeah.
during that. Later, like he's knocking down bridges, just leveling buildings. His laser breath sweeps across the entire thing. And we personally see 2 of those 8 people die. So you're telling me that we saw a quarter of all the casualties from that Godzilla attack. And I guess it's because most of the people die off screen, so it can still be PG-13. I would love to see the R-rated cut of this with just people getting atomized by the atomic breath, like, King Kong, just full nipples out, that comes in the R version, definitely.
What were the other movies? Were they also PG-13?
I believe actually Kong Skull Island might have been R because there was a lot of death in that one. A lot of like more on screen.
PG-13.
Yeah,
No, still PG-13.
King of Monsters is PG-13, and then
Also, sorry, I got to give people the content they want. I earlier said revoke when I meant rebuke because I'm illiterate. Just know that I was wrong, and I know I was wrong.
absolutely.
Thank you, Google.
Yeah.
King, it takes a big man to do that. A man as big as King Kong, but with a much proportionally larger genitals.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Don't worry,
Guys, when should I stop? Oh, I gotta stop
Whenever
now.
your heart desires.
You
King.
should probably. You keep asking us
when it starts dripping. You gotta. Yeah, lick it when it.
Hey,
starts
wait! This is a
dripping.
PG-13
Guys, we're on
stream.
Twitch.
Come
There's
on.
a limit. There's a limit to what
Yeah.
we can do. But I mean, like, okay, so
Naughty.
talking more about cons, right? I mean, we've talked about the story being awful. We've talked about the writing being terrible. Is there anything else that really stood out to you as just like really ruined the experience watching the movie?
I thought the acting wasn't the strongest, but ultimately there wasn't like much specific stuff that I was like, this makes this unwatchable. Because
Yeah.
ultimately, I think it was pretty good. Not to get into the full takes yet, though we should soon.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, we're gonna be
I
wrapping up
ultimately
soon.
I don't think there was anything that was like that aggressively offensive, other than maybe the script. But that's
Yeah.
kicking it over, Samson. I don't know if there was anything you
No,
found.
I
particularly
feel the
offensive.
same. And honestly, most of the bad things I have to say about it are kind of like countered by the runtime, you know? Like, I don't have to sit through a ton of like shitty dialogue. And like, the script is bad, yeah, but like, again, they give me so many monster fights that like, it's not like 2.5 hours where like you cram in an extra half hour of just really terrible dialogue. It gives you the goods. It gives you the goods.
Yeah.
So like I can tolerate the horrible dialogue and all that kind of stuff because they keep it to such a minimum. They know what we want. They know what we
Yeah,
want.
and it's pretty predictable, but again, a lot of what is predictable is like the human tropey shit, and they move on from that pretty fast. Then of course, like, oh, obviously they're you realize they'll team up against Mecha Godzilla in the end, but I still think the fight was like interesting enough that made it up for me, and I was like, okay, like I knew this was gonna happen, but I'm still glad to be watching it because it's a fun idea.
Yeah. Were you also expecting there to be like more kaiju like King Kong and Godzilla in the Hollow world, or was that just me? Because I was fully expecting for us to meet
I
like
was.
a few.
I did
others.
expect there to be.
Yeah.
I didn't
same.
expect there to be any Kongs. I didn't expect there to be any other big monkeys, but I was expecting there to be more. And I'm wondering if they're leaving that open for future movies.
Do
Honestly,
you think there is a future movie here?
Hey, they've somehow made a 4-movie franchise out of 2016 Godzilla, or 2015. Maybe that was 2014. I don't remember. It was like pre. It was pre Trump is all I remember. The first Godzilla movie. And hey, they managed to make 4 more out of there. I think I'd be surprised if they don't try to get another one out, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I actually I want to look this up. What like how much money this movie has made so far? Because I'm really
That's a
curious.
good question.
Like what the profits are considering.
Because I'm
like,
guessing that all 3 of us watched it on HBO Max.
Yeah, well, all 3 of us watch on
Yeah.
HBO Max, but also more people are vaccinated these days, and theaters are starting to open up a bit more.
True.
I also want to say you're in Massachusetts, Sean and I are both in Worcester. There's a great drive-in called the Mendon Twin Drive-In, and they play 2 movies at the same time. And of course they do the double feature, but ones are usually more family friendly, one's not. I believe that they are doing Godzilla vs. Kong this weekend. So if you do want to see it and are scared to go to a theater, check out some drive-ins. I'm just saying, if you're in our area of Massachusetts, Mendon Twin Drive-In, great choice.
Yeah.
Maybe check that out.
So according to Variety.com, which I think is a pretty reliable source, I would
Thanks,
say,
Candyman boy.
for just like like information about this stuff. Apparently, between Thursday and Friday, which are the first 2 release dates, it's got about 16.3 million, which for pandemic standards is not bad.
Yeah.
They're predicting it can make between 30 and 40 million by the end of the weekend. Wonder Woman 1984 had 16.7 million in its first 3 days. So theoretically, this could wind up being better. And then Tom and Jerry had 14 million on opening weekend, which is considered the best so far.
Yeah.
But
all I was thinking about, or not all I was thinking about, but that reminded me of the how shitty Wonder Woman 1984 was and how long it was on
was
top
so
of all
bad.
that.
I fell asleep.
And I
during
was
it
really
twice.
glad. I was so glad that this movie didn't have any invisible jet through the fireworks scenes that like were so confused, like were so pointless that I actually just like could not understand why anyone chose for that to be in the movie, other than I just guess visuals.
Yeah.
Which it didn't pull off. Anything in this movie that felt like it was there just for the visuals, I think they did well enough to sell me on it conceptually.
Yeah.
Like the Kong making the gravity shift. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, hey,
cool.
is this important? No. Would the movie be like worse without it? No, story-wise. But I think it was cool enough that I didn't mind it being there. So I feel like we can start moving in. Oh, no,
that's
Danny,
where I was going
go.
to transition to. Is
Yeah.
we've talked about the good, we've talked about the bad. I think what people want to know, and kind of what the big snippet takeaway from this is whether or not you would recommend watching this movie, and kind of give your overall, like, do we want to start doing like some number ratings for these things, or do we just want to give like a good and bad? Like, what are you guys feeling?
I think we can throw out a number if we feel like it, but otherwise good or
Yeah.
bad.
Anyone want to go first?
I'm fine starting it off. I'd give this movie an 8, and which seems a little high, maybe a 7.5, but I honestly think it delivers on its premise, which is a lot more than you can say about a lot of movies. I think, you know what, I'll say 7.5 or 7 if you haven't seen any of the other movies or aren't particularly interested in kaiju. 8 if you have and are at least somewhat invested, because I think the little bit of background does beef it up and make it a bit more enjoyable, but I also don't think that's necessarily needed to enjoy this movie. Because I think ultimate takeaway, it delivers on its premise in a pretty satisfying way. You don't have to sit through too much, and ultimately, if you like big action movies, you'll enjoy this.
Yeah,
That's my take, at least.
Samson.
So I'd give it like a 6.5. I think my concern with giving it a higher ranking is like, it's not a good movie. I don't want it to be thought of that this is a good movie, but it's entertaining. Like, and sometimes that's even better than like a critically acclaimed movie. So like, I think rating this on a numbered scale is kind of hard for me. I would recommend checking it out though. I thought it was fun. I had a good time, and it's like fun to watch giant monsters that are CGI beat the shit out of each other, even if the story and the script is terrible and it has very few critically redeeming qualities.
Yeah. I mean,
and again,
I'm on
it's short enough where the negative qualities kind of work themselves out too. You don't have to sit through a bunch of shit that you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Sorry, Danny.
No, I was gonna say, like, I'm on a similar page. I would give this movie a 5.5 or a 6, and the reason I go so low is because it kind of felt to me like, if you don't know a lot about Kong coming into it, it's kind of tough to just follow that storyline, which is a big part of the movie. There's much more focus on Kong than there is on Godzilla, and as someone who's only seen the newest Godzilla, because that was the most recent one that really stood out to me as like, oh yeah, this looks great, like, go check it out. It was tough to kind of, one, root for a lot of the characters since they were so minimal in it, and two, just kind of find a reason to care about anyone other than the monkey. And I think, to me, that like a good fight type movie is one that you can root for both sides and kind of understand the premise from each battle aspect and go like, okay, I could root for Godzilla or I could root for Kong, and either way I would be satisfied. And to me, the story was so poorly written and just kind of poor in general that I felt it took away from that, which is why I wouldn't rank it higher. I do think you should go check it out. The fights and visuals are great. This is exactly what the movie is. Like, if you go into it thinking there's going to be a monkey fighting a lizard, you're right. That's exactly what it is. But I think if you go into it expecting like to connect some plot lines and kind of actually have an interesting story, you're going to be sorely disappointed. So I would give this like a 5.5 or a 6.
Better than American Beauty.
Yeah,
I think that's the ultimate takeaway.
Yo, American Beauty was my favorite movie for so long.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely aged weirdly.
I said that on purpose to be inflammatory, though.
Okay.
Better than American Beauty. I knew that would be.
It is
Probably
aged
not.
poorly with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Especially Kevin Spacey being in it.
Oh, yeah.
But I think if you look at the script, it's pretty well written. You know, the whole subplot of or maybe main plot, I don't know. There's so many different plots, but the whole plot about the dude hitting on a 17, 18-year-old girl, kind of bad.
Kind of bad.
Not great. But you know,
pretty shitty. And anyway, yeah, that's about King Kong. He shouldn't have hit on the young girl. That's what it is.
So before we officially wrap up the episode, Sean was texting us and he gave this brilliant idea. Right?
Yes.
So we've got Kong versus Godzilla, but who else could be added to this to make it better? Who is your dream casting for like was it like a sequel movie, or do you want to just explain?
It was what's your dream versus movie? It doesn't have to be related to Kong versus Godzilla. It just has to be a blank versus blank. And I know right off the bat which mine is if we want me to take it away.
Yeah.
So I've been inspired recently by the Little Nas X controversy featuring the devil in his music video and like all the Satan shoes. So I want to see Lord versus the devil. I want to see God versus the devil. Bring it to me in IMAX surround sound. Put
Ooh.
Millie Bobby Brown in there because that's all the rage these days. And I want to see a 30-minute smackdown between our Lord and Savior. I don't know. It could be, and the other thing is, you could play around with like, is it Jesus? Is it Allah? Is it whatever the Mormons believe in? I don't really know. Is it a Buddhist thing? Is it like karma? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's fighting the devil though. So that's gonna be pretty crazy.
So I actually agree with what Cal was saying in the chat. I thought you were talking about Lord the artist. So she's like because you know how Lil Nas is with Satan. If Lord was with God, and then they like faced off that way.
And they're never going to be royals. That's the thing.
So,
all right, so I'm curious what you guys came up with.
Yeah. Samson, would you like to go or should I?
Danny's still thinking of it.
I want to hear what you have to say, Danny.
I literally brain farted on what it was that I was gonna say, so I need another minute to.
You need me to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can keep coming up with better ones if you need it.
No, I had a really good one. I just can't remember it right now. Oh, I remember it actually. I remember.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you don't get to talk, Samson.
Okay, so my dream fight, right? As you all know, I am a big Marvel fan, and possibly one of my favorite, if not my favorite character in the MCU is War Machine. Because I love Don Cheadle. Now, what I really want to see is Terrence Howard fight for his position back as War Machine and take down Don Cheadle in an epic brawl. I want this to be a cross-country, like, they're going from place to place, tracking each other down, like Gemini Man style fight. I literally want Gemini Man, but with Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle.
But is Gemini Man without Will Smith? That's the one question.
Fair.
Though, however, that is a fantastic idea. I would pay the big bucks to see that.
So Samson, now that I'm done interrupting you.
Oh, no, you're good. So I want to see a versus movie with all of the Yakuza.
Yakuza, thank you. Anyway,
Yakuza. But they're cats and reptilians. And they're 100 feet tall.
Pog.
Versus Danny, who's the size of Godzilla in these new movies, who can lactate lava.
No!
And his butthole is a black hole. And we'll call it Danny versus the cat reptilian Yakuza.
Wow, it doesn't sound like you came up with that right now.
No. But you're not hearing me out. Because then they realize they're cut of the same cloth.
Team up?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And they
I
fight
didn't mean to scare you.
Donnie Wahlberg with the powers of Superman and the Flash.
Well, but they'll all die to Donnie Wahlberg.
Maybe.
He'll kill them all.
But with a little chutzpah, maybe they can get the job done.
Yeah, Chet says not Donnie Wahlberg.
No, not
he's
Donnie
too
Wahlberg.
powerful. Yeah, he's too strong.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
no.
don't
And
like
unlike
Mark Wahlberg,
and
we
unlike a
respect Donnie.
gorilla, Donnie Wahlberg has a giant dong.
Oh boy.
And that's not fictional either. We're talking real life here.
Yeah, we are. But anyways, guys, this
I want
has
him to
been
walk
Boring
around
Brown.
like Dr. Manhattan too. Sorry, that was an important part of this. Every Twitch stream, I got to bring up somebody walking around like Dr. Manhattan. And Donnie Wahlberg
You're gonna make Sean choke.
floating
finish
2
my
inches off the
water.
ground with a third eye in the middle of his forehead.
Yeah.
Big old dong.
But anyways,
Thwack,
guys,
thwack.
this has been Bored and
Thwack, thwack,
Browsing.
thwack.
You can follow us on Instagram.
Thwack, thwack, thwack.
Oh my
Sorry. It
No,
was
keep
my
going,
bad.
Keep going.
Let me do the outro just so I have something for
Sorry.
the track. So
Whack,
anyways,
whack,
guys,
whack.
this has been Bored and Browsing. You can follow us on Instagram at Bored and Browsing Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Bored and
Whack,
Browse
whack,
Pod. You can now follow us on TikTok.
Whack, whack,
I'm
whack.
so
Boom.
ashamed that I'm saying that. You can
Boom.
follow us on TikTok at
Boom.
Bored and Browsing
Boom.
Podcast, where we are going to be posting every single day the opening for Shrek, but with a different song from now until Shrek 5 comes out. So stay tuned for that because we're going to do a full-blown analysis when that movie releases. You can follow me specifically on Twitter at Slothenberg, or you can follow me on Twitch and come join in whenever we're doing a live podcast at Slothenberger. So say hi, Twitch chat, because, bada bing. That's what you get to do. You get to commentate in with us and hang out as we're recording the podcast live.
And we're doing Mortal Kombat next,
Twitter
right?
At _big_boomba. And you can also listen to his music, which is now on SoundCloud, right? It's on SoundCloud?
It's on Bandcamp.
He's a SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah. But
I was gonna say though, if I do become a SoundCloud rapper, Cal's Cavern said Dongy Wahlberg, and I think that would be my SoundCloud rapper name.
Pretty cool, right?
that would be a pretty good
Yeah,
SoundCloud rapper.
actually, it would probably be Lil Dongy Wahlberg.
Yeah. But Sean, where can people find you?
Sorry, right now I've decided I'm only going to speak to deaf girls who are native from Skull Island. So unless you've got her as an interpreter, I'm really not interested in talking to you.
I know how to say thank you.
Mm-hmm. Family.
Oh, and help. And
I can say a
more.
couple inappropriate things in sign language.
All done.
Hey, don't comment on that.
Did you ever take sign language in school?
Yeah, I took ASL.
Oh, you took that as your language?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I took Hebrew.
And before we started
that's pretty
dating,
cool,
I
actually.
accidentally signed something very inappropropriate to Marie.
Yeah.
And because I forgot that she knew ASL.
Oh yeah, shout out to Marie. Marie's in the background.
hey,
Do you have anything
I
you want to
took-
say?
It was awful.
You didn't watch it. You didn't watch King.
Oh.
Oh, you mean I was awful?
Yeah, about
Yeah.
the King
Oh, I
Kong-
thought she was
King
talking about the
Kong.
movie.
Who the lizard would win. And
I took ASL in high school, and we had a deaf teacher who was really good and really cool. But I took it with a bunch of terrible people who would swear at her when she turned her back, and
Oh,
then
wow,
she
that's
caught them one
terrible.
day. It was awful. It was so uncomfortable. And then one day she caught them, and it was so fun. It was so great to watch these people finally get what was coming to them. And I was scared because I was scared to say,
Mm.
I'm not going to say anything. You
Yeah.
people are awful. If you're doing this
Yeah,
to a
and-
deaf person when they turn their back, what are you going to do to me if I rat you out? What is going to happen? So,
Andy
and then
Manboy points out that our next stream should be in ASL, actually. I think that would be great.
Ooh.
I'll have to learn the language.
It would be a great podcast episode.
Yeah.
But guys, I got to get going because I need to pee and also DM a Dungeons and Dragons game in like 4 minutes. So.
Yeah, I was actually
Oh.
so I was just gonna send the channel off on a raid. I think I'm not gonna do a stream tonight, guys. Just because I need a little break so I can do some editing and work because I wound up getting caught up in some temp stuff I was doing today. But I'm gonna send the raid over. Be sure to give lots of love. We're gonna be going to Sudden Beth, who is actually doing a live bachelorette show right now.
What?
So she's doing this whole thing where she's getting like a bunch of different Twitch streamers to try and compete, I think, for her love. I don't know exactly how it's working, but it seems like it's really fun from the little bit that I've caught. So go in there, give some hype, give some love. They're doing a lot of chat interaction, so it should be fun. But again, thanks so much for tuning in to Bored and Browsing. This episode will probably be out tomorrow, most likely, since I haven't put out the one from before since I got caught up not editing and still not done. But anyways, you can catch us back on Twitch whenever the next HBO movie comes out, which is probably Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 2 weeks.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Get over
No Johnny Cage yet. But you know what? I still have hope. If you got Jax, I'd like to think that maybe Johnny Cage also made it in.
Yeah, that's true. But anyways, guys,
All
go
right,
give some
bye,
love, and
everybody.
we'll catch you all next time.